Warning, the following video will contain spoilers and information about The Flash, particularly the episode Out of Time. Now, if you don't want anything ruined for you, as well as other speculation about the season finale or what may be happening in Season 2, please stop watching now. For those of you that are here, hey guys, Dave here. Alright, now, I've done this before, and the episode Out of Time hasn't come out yet. But I realized something that I thought I needed to put out there to the world to think about. See, I was reading through the synopsis here. It's pretty simple. Basically, Mark Martin, aka the Weather Wizard, appears, avenging the death of his brother Clyde. He decides to go after our favorite detective Joe, and Barry manages to super speed him to safety and doesn't want him to go after a metahuman alone. But Joe doesn't listen and ends up in grave danger. Meanwhile, Cisco looks into the night that the team captured the Reverse Flash and start to wonder if there was something wrong here, and may start to wonder about Dr. Wells. Of course, we saw various clips of Dr. Wells showing that with super speed, he can appear in two places at once. Now, everything's been alluding to, it looks like Dr. Harrison Wells is in fact the Reverse Flash. And yeah, we've seen this. I've done several different videos and stuff. I've, of course, said up and down, no, it can't be him. I think it's an alternate reality future version of Barry Allen. And, of course, everything is looking to the contrary. So I'm looking like a pretty stupid guy. But, but, here's the fun part. In my last video, we talked about how Tom Welling is actually in the talks of coming back to show an alternate reality where not only Caitlin and Cisco are full-blown metahumans with powers, but this is a world with Superman where the current TV version does not have one. We also, of course, heard that Supergirl is being filmed right now, and it's going to be on CBS, and they're eventually going to work in their own version of Superman to pop up in there. And these universes are all supposed to be intertwined, yet they've also been saying, no, we're not going to have any Gotham or Metropolis in Arrow or The Flash. So it's really interesting that someone's playing around with things that, as they are right now, we can't have them. But maybe in another timeline or another reality, maybe they can. Okay, so we know that there are multiple realities and different possibilities throughout the DCU, how they invented the multiverse, essentially. But something else occurred to me about Dr. Wells. I know that he's been referred to as the man in the yellow suit, and everyone keeps assuming he's the Reverse Flash. So is he Eobard Thawne? Is he Hunter Zolomon? Is he a mix of all of them? Who knows? But then something reminded me to look at the way his costume is. The reverse, the man in the yellow suit, that's the thing. He admits to being the man in the yellow suit, but not Reverse Flash, not Eobard Thawne, not Hunter Zolomon. So who the hell is he? So I started thinking. The costume colors are a little different, but there is something that has been right in front of us every time we've gotten to see a close-up on it that I'm surprised no one else has really brought up yet. The colors are, yes, they've got the top part that are yellow, but the part of the gloves under the arms and the legs are black. Now, going back to certain things that Dr. Wells has said in past episodes, he grieved at the loss of certain people when the explosion happened. Ralph Dibny, Will Everett, Al Rothstein, B. DaCosta, Grant Emerson, and of course Ronnie Raymond. As much as I think that Thawne might be a fan of certain superheroes and whatnot, I don't really see Eobard Thawne having the same desire or regret that Harrison Wells showed when he put out those names. It also comes back to the fact that although he did use a Reverse Flash ring and he does have this yellow suit, it's yellow and black. I'd say anywhere from about 35% to 50% of it is actually kind of appearing yellow. Alright? The rest of it is black. Going back to when Dr. Wells had the tachyon device and was trying to use it to stabilize himself, the computer Gideon had said that his connection to the Speed Force was only about 35%. Wells said he's not stabilizing. His powers keep coming and going. and he has no control over that. Thawne is someone that may have got his jump start to the Speed Force, but eventually generates something called the Anti-Speed Force. And here's something that got me. His costume. Wells's suit is yellow and black. Mostly from the waist down, it's black. Now, for a speedster, the worst thing you could do is to do something to damage their legs. In the comics, Eobard Thawne, the Reverse Flash, had actually infected Barry with anti-speed force, but he didn't know it. Every time he got close to a speedster and we touched them, he'd actually disintegrate them because he was infected with anti-speed force, so they cancel each other out. Look at the costume. Part yellow, part black. It's as if it's part Reverse Flash and part Black Flash. Barry was a Black Flash until he eventually managed to, get it out of his system. Barry in the comic books even goes back in time. One point he sacrifices his life, but he goes back in time and becomes the lightning bolt that gave himself his powers. Dr. Harrison Wells generated the explosion that gave Barry and other metahumans their powers. We're looking at a world here. Now, maybe part of the reason why there haven't been too many superpowered or metahumans in both the Arrow and Flash, or until the Flash came along, that universe, is because this is essentially like the Flashpoint universe that we're living in. Something happened in the past to change things and canceled out certain beings from ever happening. That's why this version doesn't have a Superman. But in the season finale, Barry's going to go back in time, do something, and end up in an alternate reality where other beings are superpowered and Superman is possible. That's already been said. So, if that's the case, I still think, and I know I'm going to get flack for this, I still think that Dr. Harrison Wells is an alternate future Barry who did go back in time, but something happened that affected the timeline, and I believe that part of the reason why his powers are affected too, he was infected by anti-speed force, which is canceling out his own. Since he didn't have any ability to counteract that, he did his best to make a new life for himself and to try to make things okay for Barry, and unfortunately going to screw things up. He's still so protective of Barry. I don't see Thawne being that. I just don't. I think he's grooming him to go back in time and eventually face the actual Reverse Flash, Eobard Thawne or Hunter Zolomon or the Rival, whoever. But I still think that Wells has an ulterior motive, and we've been looking at it. The clue's been right there all along. Wells has been wearing black. The yellow suit is yellow and black. It's not so much that he's a Reverse Flash, but he is an anti-Flash in a way. He's been infected with anti-speed force, and I think he may be even using Barry, when he's running on the treadmill, to use as a power boost to get his speed back. I think that Wells is an alternate future version of Barry Allen who was infected by anti-speed force. And his abilities keep coming and going. I could be wrong, but I think what's going to happen in the episode Out of Time may actually start to lead up to more revelation that we're going to find out that he's a speedster. But are we going to be convinced that he actually is the man in the yellow suit? Or if he is, hold on, it's not what you think. I'm trying to help Barry. I'm trying to prepare Barry. That's the only way that Cisco would possibly believe Wells if it was revealed that he did have speed and had some kind of connection to the man in the yellow suit. I've heard that Tom Cavanaugh has been renewed for season 2, so we'll see what happens. Is he going into a mentor versus enemy mode? People think that. A lot of people are doing that, but the guys that are creating the show have been really clever so far. And it would just be a kind of a cop-out, in my opinion, as a fan, if, yes, Wells is only Eobard Thawne or whatever. He's from the future, he's here, he's helping to create Barry and then ruining his life at the same time. It doesn't make sense like that. But a future Barry who's become everything he hates, negated by this world, and trying to do everything he can to change it, including making some painful sacrifices. In the comics, Barry is one of the first heroes that was actually put on trial for murder. He was kicked off the Justice League when he killed the Reverse Flash. This is back in the Silver Age, of course. Things have changed a bit, but yes, that actually happened. When Barry is pushed to the limit, he is prepared to kill. When Wells is pushed and Barry is threatened, he's prepared to kill to protect Barry. I don't think that's a coincidence, guys. I think that this is essentially, it's kind of a reverse, because Barry is hope. Wells isn't quite there. It's a mock-up of the fact that he's a Reverse Flash. He's an anti-Flash. He's a Black Flash. And he's trying to get out of that to help Barry to go back in time. At least that's my opinion. I could very well be mistaken. But it's just a thought. And I think that may be the beginning of what we're really going to start to see revealed with the team in the Flash episode Out of Time. So what do you guys think? Please subscribe, like, comment, share this with your friends. Let me know what you think and see if I'm onto something. Yes, I could very well be wrong. And I'm the only one that's still gnawing at the bone that Dr. Harrison Wells may actually be a future Barry and not just the bad guy that we're being led to believe. But someone's got to carry this flag. All right, guys. Take care. Peace. Yum, yum.